How the
I think that's
fuck
a
are you
new
so...
theme song, actually, and I kind of dig it. Welcome
I
back.
was getting groovy to that.
to
Turn that up, baby. Run it back.
Best Ball Happy Hour for Underdog Drafts. As always, I'm your host, John Daigle, joined today, none other by friend in life, Pro Football Focus's Ian Hartitz. Ian, how's it going since last draft?
Great day to be great. I got engaged. How about that, boys?
I was allowing you the floor.
Yeah.
Big deal. So we have
I thought Daigle would spoil it for me, so I decided to get out in front of the news. Decided not to share it on Twitter because I don't share my personal life on Twitter, guys. I did text Daigle. Hayden, I don't even know if I have your number. I wouldn't have texted you anyway, but I still consider you a friend, you know. And yeah, so great day to be great, guys.
Well, congrats, man. How was it?
I was
easy.
Yeah, easy.
How did it go?
I've been with her for, almost 3 years, October, and I was already like, yo, you should help me pick out this ring. So I don't think it was the biggest surprise in the world. She messed up though, man, because I got a photographer and shit, and the girls always care about looking nice. So I was like, hey, we should take our usual walk, but like dress up this time, look good, feel good, play good. And she's like, I'm not putting makeup on. Like, pick your battles, Ian, before we're going. I was like, all right, fine. Like, don't fucking put your makeup on. See if I care. But then she got the ring. It was all good. So I think the pictures were fine enough. But yeah, man, it's a weight off the old shoulders. Now I can go back to just focusing on fantasy football and not really having a life.
I am surprised after that many years together, she still fell for that, though. How about you just put your makeup on for this one walk? And
even her friends were giving her shit. They're like, how did you not see this coming? And I was texting her and I was like, this is too obvious. And then I was like, oh, by the way, they said the ring will be ready like in a week or something to try to throw it off. And I don't know.
Wow. That's amazing.
Very big deal. Hayden, also, you have a lot going on in the wedding scene. We already know you're working out and vomiting everywhere with your younger brother, personal trainer. How's everything else going behind the scenes?
It's going well. We're basically done prepping for the weddings, which is Ian. Good luck with all of that stuff.
Yeah.
I think I'm over the hurdle now. It's like everything's planned. It's just time to go. But let's get to these rookies and sophomores. Nobody cares about my wedding.
I also need to know if I need to send the RSVP physically or is
No,
it okay
I
to
got
text you? Thank you
I
so
got
much,
it.
because I am literally the worst at that. Ian, note that for the future. Please allow me to text you my RSVP because I will not remember to send it. Anyways,
I don't worry about any of this shit, man. She's already talking about venues and stuff, and I was like, I thought we could not talk about this for like 6 months now, but that's not how it works apparently.
that's not how it works. And how this works is that we're going to change it up. No super flex tonight. We're going to do a rookies and sophomore draft. One, because it's fun. Two, because I think it'll allow us to weave in our draft rumors in that we have to be unique and try to stack rookies with landing spots, with their sophomore quarterbacks, with potentially their rookie quarterbacks. And so that's what I want to try here. And
Hayden,
Ian,
real quick, Hayden, I laughed at your comment. Jordan Love season incoming. It's not.
It's
good job by you.
Coming.
Daigle, did you know that Trevor Siemian turned down a Pro Bowl back in 2016? They asked him and he said, no, I'm good.
I did not know that. Thank you. That's a fun fact, actually.
I got you.
But as you can see here, we are about to hit up the rookie sophomore lobby. I also just tweeted it out. And these go fairly quick. So we are prepared to stay here shorter than normal, I think, but also do a couple. Ian, I know you are also starting to dive into your rankings in general and also ranking rookies in that case. Let's go ahead and jump into this.
I'm a Romeo Dobbs guy.
Yeah. How did that happen, by the way?
So last year I did an article on, I was just cycling some content, woke up a little bit late today, had the article deadline approaching. I was like, why don't I just refresh something from last year and get this shit done? So I was looking at 5 tool receivers, height, weight, speed, route running, playmaking, all above 50th percentile. Last year, the only guy that checked all the boxes was Kyle Pitts, because a lot of those, I think Hayden coined it. I loved it. Mickey Mouse wide receiver class. Like most of the guys just didn't even fit size or height and weight. Nico Collins was close though, and I liked some of the guys I saw that were close. It was just a good way of kind of working through the group. And so I was going through it today, and some guys like Drake London didn't run. I'm not sure if he would have been 4.5 or under. So there were some guys where we had to take some, probably not. So I think that might have disqualified him. But Romeo Doubs was, someone that was really popping off in like every single category, even the drop rate. The hands were another thing I was looking at. Some guys had a problem with that, which not saying that needs to be all end all, but when he's checking all these boxes, and then I go read a little bit more about, what PFF's Mike Renner and some of the other minds have to say. And it's like, well, it's kind of level of competition is concerned, but he's doing everything else right. It's intriguing to me. So it sounds like he'll be a day 3 guy. I mean, I'm not saying we need to go be chasing him in round 1 or anything, but if for some of these guys, like it's almost like it seems like Matt Corral and some of these I don't want to ding guys too much for stuff that like they haven't been asked to do. Like it's not Dobbs' fault. He didn't play better competition. Sorry for putting up good numbers against shitty competition. Maybe Matt Corral shouldn't be dinged for not running pro style concepts, but we're on the clock, so let's do it.
I have Jamar Chase starred. Hayden, is that where we start in rookie sophomores? Is there even a competition?
I have him ranked number 1 as well. What's weird about rookies and sophomores, you can start up to 3 wide receivers, and you can start as little as 1 running back. So I think that running back doesn't matter as much. I like Jamar Chase here.
Easy.
Also, for everyone joining the chat who didn't happen to get in, since there are only 3 spots here, we will do another one after this. So be on your toes. Also, more importantly, you could participate because Ian specially crafted a rookie sophomore shot list. So it is in the chat now. But before it comes back to us, I actually want to cheers. I want to cheers to you, Ian. Let's go out of our way really quick. Congratulations on being engaged.
Thank you, brother.
So,
got a drink.
Congrats to you.
Give my shot, but thank you. It's crazy, man. I didn't even have a girlfriend like 3 years ago. I was so much better at my job.
You started dating with her whenever you moved there and we were hanging out. I remember.
That's right. Without Roto World, I probably would not have met my
Oddly enough, you're right. You wouldn't have met her because you wouldn't be in Connecticut at all.
The one good thing other than you, Daigle, about moving to
Okay. Be nice. You have a career to watch. We are back on the clock at 2-4.
Do we have any of the good quarterbacks? We have to get quarterbacks. Or any of I think we need to literally draft Zach Wilson and Mac Jones. Otherwise, you are starting these scrubs. Has anyone watched the incoming rookie quarterback class?
Oh, it's horrendous.
I'm on record of hating them all. Yes.
So why not just draft both of them here and win with depth at the other positions? If we can draft a wide receiver and get close to the wide receiver we'd be drafting right now. Matt Corral is not coming close to Mac Jones this year. Not even close.
My argument for this group is also that we can stack them easily because no one's really going to be in a rush to take Patriots or Jets receivers. But also, we have a real chance of just grabbing one of the top 3 rookie receivers and one of them landing with the Jets.
Yep.
I mean, how many guys are even in this? Is it a
4-person drafts?
4-person
48 total picks, 12 rounds. Just to refresh for the people watching, 1 quarterback, 1 running back, 2 receiver/tight ends, and a flex position. And I think the biggest thing when I did my strategy column for this, it's quarterback scarcity. That is the name of the game. If you get locked out of the top quarterbacks, you are screwed. Desmond Ridder, these guys, even Malik Willis, I'm watching him today. Like, he's an in theory upside play. This dude's not even close to being ready. Like, truly not even close. You look at all the stats and stuff. I don't see it. Even if he becomes Josh Allen in 4 years from now, that doesn't help us this year. I think he's going to be on the bench or in the second round this year.
I get the thought process of like, okay, it's a bunch of unknowns at quarterback. Let's throw a dart at the highest upside guy, Malik Willis. But that doesn't mean, like, it seems like the QB1 in this class wouldn't be top 5 last year. So I'm all for taking 2 guys that are at a minimum going to start every game that they're healthy this year.
I dare this person to leave us Elijah Moore. I dare them to.
Don't say these things out loud when they may be in the chat.
No, they're scared, baby. They're scared to compete.
Let's go.
And we know
that's why you reach on the quarterbacks early. You're going to get the guys. And I mean, this is perfect. Zach Wilson and Elijah Moore is one of the only actual stacks that we know in the draft room. And we just did it.
Do we add Michael Carter to this? Or does someone have a bull case for one of these wide receivers? Because we could double stack Zach Wilson here via the wide receiver.
I would probably go running back.
I think there's a drop off after Carter, right?
I would go Elijah Mitchell. I like
Elijah Mitchell significantly
more
than
better.
I do too.
He's had a nice offseason too. They re-signed Wilson and Hasty. Great. Now Debo's bitching about shit. Like, Debo didn't even have the Debo role until everyone was so hurt that they had to find a way to spell Mitchell. He could still touch the ball 20 times a game, even with Trey Lance under center.
I mean, in his healthy games, the games he didn't leave early, Mitchell averaged 27 carries per game. And it's not like he was really like a touchdown hog. There's no reason to fade him because the touches, like you mentioned, Wilson and Hasty, we know the roles. Like we knew the roles last year. So I don't really see a reason to be bearish on Elijah Mitchell.
Dude, and like I was talking about this on the PFF Fantasy Pod with Dwayne. Like, what are the chances that Jimmy Garoppolo is still on the 49ers and by August? Like, I don't know, 10%.
10%.
Right, something like that. But there is a chance, and we've seen this with mobile quarterbacks like Jalen Hurts, Lamar to a lesser extent. But when you have the mobile quarterback, they eat. But if we can get Jimmy G by some grace back there, that's still good for every single skill position player.
We are coming up on the clock. Hayden, is multiple quarterbacks after 2 optimal, or 2 is what we're good with?
2's fine. Everyone else is going to be panicking, drafting their
Great.
quarterbacks, not us.
From that point forward, looks like we may be targeting rookie wide receivers here.
Let's go.
I'm fine with Burks or Olave, any of them, really. This whole group is fine with me, right?
I think we have a greater chance at either Jameson or Olave with Zach Wilson. We're going to go Olave.
Okay.
If only for year 1 return. I'm worried about Jameson year 1 return.
Can we get Rondale? Because once the world figures out he's their number 2, like he should be gone by now.
I'm fine with that.
Hayden? I know Hayden's high on Rondale.
I'm fine on Rondale. I think all these guys, Burks, Bateman's kind of whatever.
Jameson,
I think
Sky.
Jameson Williams is gonna be an absolute monster.
Hayden, do you have a Olave over these other wide receivers?
I have Burks ahead of Olave, but I can be swung either way. I think both of them are kind of tier 2 receivers. I like the first 3 better.
Is your top 5 the consensus?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
It seems like 6 is the spot where it starts getting. Maybe we can throw.
I had Crane on the 4-4 pod today.
It was good.
Spotify, look up the Most Accurate Podcast. It was good until the meltdown at the end when I told Field Yates the wrong time to join and had to sit there and banter for 10 minutes thinking he was jumping on. Totally my fault. And by the way, that's not getting edited out of the video. Go to the 4-4 YouTube page. My meltdown is right there.
I watched it.
But
Field
I
first team all nice guy and definitely the industry, probably the world.
He's the best.
Yes.
He's the absolute best. I feel like I improv though, Hayden, quite well, honestly, for not knowing what was going on. But I will say that Crane has Olave number 6. He has Treylon Burks number 1 overall for fantasy.
Wow.
So we're not going to take a tight end. Definitely not taking a tight end. We want to play our receivers in that flex spot. Running backs, Hayden, I know you like Khalil Herbert.
Yeah, I don't know.
You can wait though.
I would draft one. I think like the rookie running backs like Brian Robinson, all of them are like
Pickens.
Yeah, we're doing Pickens. Let's
make an executive decision on George Pickens, who's rumored
to
be one of the Packers.
Yeah.
I'm making the executive decision. One of
Dotson too.
We like Dotson.
He might go first round, man.
Christian Watson over Nico Collins.
Christian Watson seems like the guy that will go to Kansas City or Green Bay, and everyone will be like, "Oh yeah, I've always been a Christian Watson guy."
Oh, I will not be. I hope he does. Then I'll fade him. He'll be great.
All right, we're gonna let the clock run out. John Donson. And
who are the running backs? Who are the running backs? Just in case, should we get?
We're still in the same range.
Do Ramondre.
Let's do Ramondre.
Fuck. Daigle, you're so slow. You're so slow on the keyboard.
There's a lot going on. I was grabbing my beer too.
That's okay. I do think. All right, so Ramondre does have a path to maybe getting that pass down work, but Damien's not going anywhere. And I think bringing back, I wonder because of the low guarantees if James White and Ty Montgomery are just competing for the job, or for like the scat back job, or if Montgomery will just be the Brandon Bolden special teams, won't play off. Ty Montgomery could be interesting, man. Like, I don't know. He's 2 injuries away from being very interesting, but hey.
But we know like James White isn't actually competing. Like James White averaged 10.5 touches and 15 PPR points per game. It was only 2 full games, right? But it's James White. Like he's not losing his role.
Even though he got hurt really early in week 3, I ran the numbers yesterday. He was like one of only 5 or 6 running backs last year to average 4 receptions per game. Like he was eating early on PPR and he just got hurt.
Spiller.
You want Spiller over Herbert?
Yeah.
Okay.
Biggest reason, and we should draft both. I think biggest reason just it's the game theory thing. Isaiah Spiller is being drafted in the teens and early 20s for most of this tournament, and like maybe his draft capital is a little bit worse, but now we're getting we just get him 40th overall. Like if he hits, we have the best price on him.
Why is Spiller dropping in mock drafts? Why is he now getting graded as a round 2 prospect?
He's slow. He doesn't have that much burst. I think
He's
it's
like
as
that
simple as
slow.
that. Yeah, he's pretty
Didn't
slow.
Josh compare him to Javorius Allen? Buck Allen, I should say.
He did.
That's a compliment. Buck Allen could run.
Buck
Man.
Allen carved out a good
USC
maybe
grad,
not career,
baby.
but 2 years for himself. Yeah.
That's the problem with some of our fucked up minds when we've been playing like preseason DFS and stuff. It's like Buck Allen. Hey, like hold on now. Like we're talking about a guy here.
Corain comped George Pickens to Cecil Shorts, and I fell in love with them. I was like, thank you. That's how you comp a player.
Cecil
right there.
Shorts.
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
As
Just
a
having this deep knowledge of like mediocre NFL players over the past 20 years is so handy with the comps.
that's great. It's everyone should comp to Peter Warwick and all
This
these.
guy's like a
players.
Kevin Ogletree type of player, you know.
He also did say, I think he said like, was it Laurent Robinson? It was something else that was like made my ears perk up. I prefer your bad comps. Those are much more accurate to comparing players to Hall of Famers. Always more accurate.
Laurent Robinson has one of the most random 10 touchdown seasons of the
From
last
Romo.
like, 2 decades. Yeah, and then he got hurt, unfortunately. So maybe
Well,
maybe it wasn't random, to be fair.
he got hurt, and then remember, Jaguars gave him far too much money than any other team would give him. Hayden, what is optimal now, considering we have a 2-3-6 build?
I would go B-Rob. We're set at wide receiver.
Cool.
This is the exact structure that I would like to do like every single draft. We got 2 of the good quarterbacks. We still are fine at running back because you can only just have to start one of them, and we just drafted all the good wide receivers. So like that is the exact template that I would try to do every single time. All these rookies could pop off, like Brian Robinson or Isaiah Spiller. Like those guys can be starters, no problem.
And with Pickens, honestly, and Pickens and Olave and Jahan Dotson, like the Patriots, I don't think they're out on drafting a receiver just because they just traded for Devontae Parker, knowing Aguilar and all these guys they signed last year are front loaded for 2 or 3 year deals. So they could easily draft someone as well. And then we have a Matt Jones stack accidentally.
Yep.
All right. So this is the build. 2-4-6.
Hey, did you guys notice last year, like Kendrick Bourne turned heel against the fantasy industry and like he immediately got COVID? Just saying.
Wow.
It was, remember when Kendrick Bourne was actually like the wide receiver 18 through the first half of the year, and then he disappeared.
He had a couple wide receiver 5 weeks, and then he was out of it. I mean, it was weird, man. They were giving him like the sort of like designed like yak friendly touches that I always thought they got Aguilar for. But it was like, nah, we'll give it to Kendrick Bourne. Daigle, what are you doing? Are we done?
This always worked. Yeah, I remember it's just 4 teams. It's very quick. That's why I said we could do a couple. We can do a couple of them.
Oh, we're ripping these.
I want to look at the full board real quick.
All right, that's gonna wrap it up.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was planning on going to the beach today, and then if I didn't pick it for a 15-minute stream, I'm gonna be pissed. So we're doing a couple of these.
Does this mean the board's still loading, Hayden? We do this every week, and I'm never gonna stop.
Yeah,
doing that.
yeah. The devs.
I was on with Overzet and Corain last night on ship chasing, and it came up. The board came up and no, wait, that was FFPC. Never mind. Sorry, Underdog. I love you.
Ooh, ouch.
Did not mean to do that.
I did an underdog best ball stream, and I could not get the full draft board, so I just gave up.
That's okay. They're doing everything else right. It's okay to be developing still something right now. It'll come up very soon. With that though, 2-4-6, Hayden, you're the one who has written the strategy column on this. This is the way we should be playing and prioritizing quarterbacks, if not at the end of the first round, making sure you get 2 in the second and third round, and then building from there.
Yeah, so I think my favorite one would be like Trevor Lawrence. If you were picking like 4th, grab Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields, whichever those top guys you like, Trey Lance, and then you get one of Zach Wilson and Mac Jones. We couldn't do that because we were drafting 1st overall, so we just reach on both of them. But if you're not reaching on them, my favorite quarterback actually out of like the next grouping is Davis Mills. Like give me Davis Mills over these other guys. John McClain is saying that Davis Mills is the Texans option this year and that they're trying to build the offense around them. And they're trying to get him offensive line and wide receivers to kind of rip through it with Pep Hamilton calling plays for him. So I think we made the right decision. It sounds disgusting drafting Zach Wilson and Mac Jones over Breece Hall and Travis Etienne, but I'm fine. I would rather go take our chances on Isaiah Spiller and Brian Robinson and Ramondre Stevenson types to try to get up to Breece Hall, and rather than try to go like Desmond Ridder to be Mac Jones.
There was an argument that Davis Mills was the second best rookie quarterback last year.
Very much.
Yeah.
That's why it was frustrating when they moved on to another scapegoat coach. Also, To your point, Davis Mills, I think in this format, I think I would rank over Mac Jones in a vacuum because he's easier to stack, right? Because we can get Nico Collins and no one will see it coming late with Davis Mills. And we still all expect, Ian, do you still expect Brandon Cooks to be traded?
What, am I on record that I ever was? Like, I don't know.
Yes.
I used to always take the, like, these guys aren't going to get traded stance because, like, before the last year or two, the league wasn't acting like they're the NBA. I don't know why they still have Brandon Cooks. I don't know why they didn't trade him at last trade deadline. So
wasn't there a quote that he said that he doesn't want to be traded, that he's moved around, he doesn't want to do that anymore? I think I can't find it, but I think that he said something like that.
Hayden was
for a player that is so talented.
Can't get it again.
I do think it's funny that for a player that's so talented, he's played on so many freaking teams. Like, he goes somewhere, he has 1,000 yards, and then he gets shipped away every year.
And he just proved he can do it with a bad quarterback too. Like, before, he was the anti-Allen Robinson. It'd been like Brady, Breeze, Watson, the good version of Goff before he had like one dud with him. And then last year, like, he kept on keeping on.
I didn't realize the screen also shows all my notes whenever I do this. I just realized that. So
embrace it.
It was gonna be a secret, but no longer a secret. GK, put your Underdog screen name in the chat, and we're gonna give you a couple free Rookie-Sophomore drafts. So go ahead and put it in there. So thank you for listening. We appreciate you. Also, you did get Davis Mills, so you win the whole draft.
That's a good point from Mr. Scampers that Brandon Cooks has never been a free agent. That's pretty interesting.
How about we that is interesting. How about we rip another one, boys? Because this is pretty easy, actually.
Let's rip it. I found the Brandon Cooks quote. He said, I won't be traded if I'm not involved. I'm all in on this thing. It would be pretty special to be part of something that's turned around. How that looks, I don't know. I've got to trust that. He says they didn't want to get traded. This was after the rumors from last offseason. Or the trade deadline.
And I believe him and Larry Tunsil are the only ones that are still under contract, like, beyond the next 2 years for some reason. So, like, those are their only real assets they could trade. No one else, I don't think a team would come knocking for. Larry Tunsil, like, they don't really need, to be honest. They could start over there and they just might with a number 3 pick. You would know, Hayden, because you just released your mock draft.
Dude, they don't give a single shit. Have you looked at the running backs and wide receivers that the Texans have signed over the last 2 offseason? It's like it's a running joke. It is horrendous, man. Just like it's like the 2017 fantasy sleeper squad in Houston. Like, one guy after another. Like, I don't know if there's ever been like a more obvious tanking scheme. And it's like, all right, I guess. Go for it. Okay.
Having said that, you should still add Rex Burkhead in the last round of your best ball leagues. Anyways, so Trey Lance here, Najee Harris.
No, you shouldn't.
No, you shouldn't. Yeah, come on.
Hey, Najee versus Javonte. Let's settle this. Daigle, Ian, who do you guys like straight up?
Najee.
Right now, Najee, higher ceiling Javonte.
I think I like
Najee has no question marks, literally none. Javonte still has Melvin Gordon. We're both
and Najee's on the shot list, baby.
No, that's what happened here. All right, well, I'll shoot wine. I have that next to me, so there you go.
Dude, I got some freaking mock draft like at 9 o'clock tonight. I'm gonna be useless for that shit.
All right, now we're back. We're at this range again. We gotta just take Zach Wilson again, or do you go Davis Mills?
I like Mac over Zach.
You still like Mac over Zach? Ian?
No, I think Zach's better.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, we can do it.
Mac Jones was always the most pro-ready quarterback, and then he works as the most pro-ready quarterback, and everyone's like shocked. Like, that might be the bet. That might be Mac Jones for the rest of his career. Zach Wilson throws a beautiful freaking ball, Hayden. Come on, man. I always go back to
right to the free safety.
Yeah,
beautiful ball right to that line.
All his receivers got hurt. He did have a nice little back end of the season. It's interesting that Trevor Lawrence gets such a bigger pass for last year than Zach Wilson. I will say that.
That number 4 pick is interesting because it very well could be an offensive lineman, and that helps Zach Wilson as well as a receiver at 10. Jalen Waddle, ETN, double tap with Davis Mills.
I think we wait on Mills.
ETN.
Yeah, let's do ETN.
I'm for Etienne.
James
seems
Robinson
to be.
might not play next year.
What is your opinion on and where you have Etienne ranked, Ian? Because that seems to be a popular guy who I think by August, honestly, he's going to get that DeAndre Swift bump as like a third, maybe second round guy in redraft leagues for his receiving upside.
I think I got him 16 or 17. I'm trying to be.
Oh, you have him high already then. Okay.
I'm trying to be higher. But yeah, man, think about how high he'd be if we find out
doing it right.
for sure.
You need to be ahead.
Find out for sure that Robinson's out. Like, then he'll be exactly what you're saying, like in that Swift bump. So yeah, I'm fine with that right now. And like I tweeted about, like, is James Robinson even going to play? And Jesse Morris, the fantasy doctor guy, like replied saying he would lean no, basically. So I don't know, guys. I'm not a doctor, but I try to listen to them, and it's the freaking Achilles.
Hayden just saw what I was doing behind the scenes. I was quickly clicking off of Elijah Moore so no one would see, and so I could click Elijah Moore.
Oh, we're okay now.
I'm fine with Elijah Moore here. What if they draft like Drake London, though? Are we still picking him as like a top 20 wide receiver?
They will draft someone. They are adding another receiver in the top 10.
I can't believe they're drafting another wide receiver.
Why?
They have so many other needs, man. One edge rusher, one corner would do way more than a wide receiver.
More Davis and Berrios is fine.
Yes, they paid him. Even if they weren't fine, they paid him. You got to at least try.
Dude, I mean, I don't think Corey Davis was the problem. Like, yeah, come on.
Diggsy, what about quarterback real quick? Do we have any luck at all at quarterback? Oh,
we're down.
Boy. No, we're down bad. We're down bad. Let's do a 2 running back build, because we got 2 good ones. You can only start 2 at the most, 1 at the least. No. Let's go wide receiver. Best wide receiver.
Amon-Ra.
Yeah, cool. That works. This will be interesting because you can only start up to 2 running backs. You can start as little as 1. So we did like basically our anchor running backs. Let's not draft another single one of them and win with depth at quarterback and receiver.
Love it.
Hyper fragile.
Yeah.
Cool.
This is actually a modified 0 RB.
Yeah. Superhero RB.
TJ
I like the superhero.
That was a great one. I'm jealous. That was a good one. I like that.
TJ Hernandez called it superhero, and I thought, why haven't we been calling it that the whole time? That's amazing.
No,
it's the best draft strategy, for the record. I think 2 running backs within the first 3 rounds and punt it off. I think that's the best strategy in half PPR best ball. Like, doesn't matter where you're drafting. I think that's the one.
I think this year too, because as you know, Ian, doing rankings, we have a larger window than last year, but still a finite window to grab our workhorses.
Yeah, dude, there's several guys still. Rashad Penny is one of them, and and even Cordero Patterson, man, like taking my president of the fan club hat off. Like, both those guys are lead running backs in like the late RB3 range right now that you can still get. Garrett Wilson, easy.
Yeah,
wide receiver 1.
Amazing chance Garrett ends up at number 4, 10 at the Jets. We got to do this. This will be the winning stack right here. Hyperfragile RB in a 4-team league with a double jet stack. Here we go. Let's do this.
What's the complaint on Garrett Wilson? He's like too freaking sprung up. So he's like, people were looking at like a combine, like him catching the balls at the combine, like jumping every time he catches
I will answer in 1 second. Let's figure this out. Quarterback or wide receiver, and which wide receiver, if so?
Sorry, my dude.
Jameson or Rondale. Jameson.
Ooh.
Or Rondale. Let's do Rondale. Let's see if we can get Jameson on the wrap.
Yeah, Rondale.
I'm okay with that. I do love Rondale. No, Ian, I think my knock, I'd love to hear Hayden's opinion, because they're pumping out the rookie profiles at the Underdog YouTube page. My knock, it's not even a knock, honestly. It's just that he's 183. I expect him to be pigeonholed to the slot. And I don't even know if that's bad. Since 2020, that's where he played. He exploded from the slot. But I do expect him to be in the slot. And then with the Falcons, that'd be okay. With the Jets, I would worry a bit. That's my thought.
Yeah, I think he's kind of like Jerry Jeudy, and I think my biggest concern for this year with Garrett Wilson is because he is kind of a freestyler route runner, but I think that's a good thing. Like, you want to rein somebody in rather than they just have no ability to do that. So he might be better like 2-3 years from now because he's so young. But those guys easily can pop off immediately too. He's like, I'm like the Jerry Jeudy, Justin Jefferson. I don't think he will be Justin Jefferson. I thought Jefferson was better, but yeah, Garrett Wilson could play, man.
Where are we going?
Pickett can play. I think Pickett's fine. I think he's fine. Okay. Or Jameson.
Yeah, go Jameson.
Nice. Yeah,
Jameson.
let's have some fun, baby.
All right, so we're gonna do with this strategy, Hayden. We're not gonna take another running back, correct? We're going hyper fragile running back.
You can name it.
Let's burn it down.
You can name whatever strategy you want. Yeah. Because I think most people do 4 running backs or something like that. But we already have the 2 of the top 5. It's like what are we doing here?
Then we still have. We're only gonna do in this build. Would you do just 2 quarterbacks or 3?
If there was another quarterback I felt comfortable with, I would think about it. But yeah, I think we just got to rock with these 2. Hopefully, he doesn't draft Pickett.
Well, let's see if Dolph's done. Nope, he did not.
Yeah, let's go. I think this team's going to be good too.
I like this team a lot.
Should we try to figure out where Pickett's going to go and then try to stack options like
Panthers, right? Isn't that the
Panthers? But we can get dare we draft
Terrace
Marshall?
I like it. Maybe a little Tommy Trembles at the end.
Wow. Chuba? No, he's garbed. Or if it's the Steelers, there's nothing.
It took 3 seconds to remind yourself that we don't want Chuba.
I think Deontay is the new Chuba. You know, he's McCaffrey's backup is all I'm trying to say. I think he beats out Chuba.
I'm making sure.
Million. It's not nothing.
Oh, you know what? Garrett Wilson
Saints.
was also part of the shot list. We need to catch up on that. So
I took one when you guys were talking.
Oh, well, you got to remind me.
All right, my bad. I apologize.
Hayden's getting wedding.
You know, after I take a couple of these, I did get my workout in earlier. You guys, this stream pushes me like get shit done earlier because I know I'm gonna be useless after it. So I was not throwing up, but you know, this for me is the day after leg day, which is always brutal. So I'm just happy I got there.
I think this is your chance of 2 running. Oh no, we're going fragile.
Freiermuth, because when Pickett falls to the Steelers.
Oh, look at this galaxy.
Okay, I'm fine with Freiermuth here, but guys, do we have a good reason why Zach Gentry ran more routes than Pat Freiermuth in the playoffs? I'm wondering. We don't.
We don't. No.
And it worries me. I see the allure of the guy, but in redraft, when he's going like top 10. Miss me with that.
Yeah,
completely different. It's going to be a completely different offense. Last preseason, Matt Canada led every offense in pre-snap motion. Also ran play action, a quarter of dropbacks. And then all of that was forgotten in the regular season when Rossberger said, screw off. This is my last year. I call the plays. So it's going to be a totally different offense too.
Hayden, when do the analytic rankings come out?
Later. I've been pushing those off. Terrace Marshall, interesting.
Yeah. Let's go Terrace.
Pickett.
Cool.
Well, definitely do. I thought that was rather brilliant. Ooh.
We got to pick it already. Let's get a Terrace Marshall in here. Yeah. Terrace Marshall, Pickett. Yeah.
I mean, they brought in Higgins.
That's Galaxy bringing it to its finest.
I know Zylstra won the job last year, but it could be worse in terms of incoming competition.
Okay, so we are at 227. Where do we burn the final pick at?
Who disgust me? Who are the quarterbacks available?
Same guys.
That's pretty interesting. We can try with one of those guys, right? I mean,
it'd be
Corral,
cool, right?
Yeah, I'll go Matt Corral. He's going to beat out Drew Lock. Sorry, Ian. And in week 15 or week 15, we'll use those last couple of weeks right for the playoffs.
Him and Howell have the rushing upside that we're looking for. So screw it.
You got Corral or Isaiah Spiller. You're comfortable with Corral?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm down with that. Let's lean on.
It's interesting. I know Corral's a little smaller, but it's interesting how much he's dinged for just executing his offense. I understand it wasn't. Desmond Ritter's out there doing more pro style shit, but I don't know how big of a negative we can hold that against the guy. It's an interesting. I'd like to see someone go in like more modern day and look at which quarterbacks have still thrived in these kind of not non-pro style systems.
While this draft loads, let's go ahead and quickly run off a couple chat questions. What are your thoughts on Chris Evans and Puka? Hayden, do you have any backup Bengals thoughts?
Not
in a rookie-sophomore draft.
I'll go Chris Evans. Is this Puka Williams, like the Kansas guy?
I believe so. Yeah.
I mean,
there's only.
I couldn't
Puka?
guess what. I mean, I couldn't guess what team he was on. So
I was about to say,
I got to go Chris Evans.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
And
If
does
Mixon
it,
got hurt, I think it'd be like P. Ryan would probably get more touches. But dude, they use Evans like as a legit receiver sometimes. Like he can really catch the ball.
Ian, you have a wedding advice here. Apparently, Jim City Grinder just had breakfast at his wedding. He had a
He's
breakfast
gonna do-
burrito bar with French
His
toast.
wedding
That's actually
menu's
dope.
got to be outrageous. Outrageous.
Maybe chicken nuggets.
Just
Chicken
do,
nuggets and
chicken
fries.
nuggets, hot dogs, and Lay's chips.
Wings,
Dude,
wings.
Dude,
Yep.
like a wedding brunch or something might be the move. I like that call. Appreciate
Dude, I've
you,
never
John.
heard of a breakfast burrito bar, and that sounds like heaven. That sounds like the best.
It does.
I'm
And
not
then-
against it, man. Sounds
I've been
cheaper,
in the
too.
streets. Aiden, you've seen all the data. Ian, you've done your rankings. Who is your dart throw in best ball right now? I will
I
start
like Cameron Brate.
because he. Okay. Oh yeah, that is the guy you're stamping right now. And you're moving the ADP. He's moved a couple rounds actually. I've been watching.
My favorite late round tight ends, Irv Smith. I think if you really want to go like like last round dart throw potential, I think Donovan Peoples-Jones still makes some sense. I'm not sure how much Watson we're gonna get, but we knew the Browns, like we knew DPJ wasn't going to be the one going to next year. And for them if Cooper's the only other guy of really like high level that they add, he got the Watson upgrade. I think he can play and he's going to be the field stretcher guy. So if they get Fuller or someone like that, then that'll change things. But he's projected to be out there in 2 wide receiver sets with Deshaun Watson under center. You could do worse.
Brandon Cooks and Will Fuller, I think, are the only 2 players in mind there. And if neither of them go there, then of course it would be DPJ. That's a good one. For me, you don't think he would go late, but he's still going like in the 16th round. And James Washington is just an awesome play. I mean, he's going to step into every single route. He was used incorrectly the last 2 years because as a rotational player, because they added Chase Claypool instead. And then Claypool started just rotating with James Washington. But in his last full season, we're only 2 years removed from it. James Washington still averaged 16 yards per catch on 60 plus targets. Like he's a deep threat that could get volume. He's very good. And he's
had to play with Mason Rudolph for like a decade. That poor man. I'm surprised he hasn't quit football by now.
He's very good. So I'm very excited to add James Washington to all my Cowboy stacks. I love him. He's my favorite dart right now. With that,
I got one more.
I
got one more. Well, let me hit this.
I'm refreshing this board.
Byron Pringle. They gave him starter money. There's no competition over there, and they have no picks and no cap space to upgrade over him. He is going to be a every down player for the Bears, and he goes undrafted.
Berrios is another late round maybe guy that's going to be starting. That's all you got to look at. Just try to find someone that's starting in 3 wide receiver sets. Like you could do worse.
My only question for that, Ian, because I have the same thought, is that when and if they do add Garrett Wilson, Drake London, what happens?
He's the odd man out. He's the odd man out.
Who loses? Yeah, because he played 4 games without Jameson Crowder. He's made starts and he averaged 7.9 targets per game. Like they loved using him.
I know there's a lot of smoke with them taking a receiver. Will they though? I don't think it makes
50-50 to me, man. I don't think it's a lock.
Really, because they've been in all these draft rumors for receiver too. They are in the Tyreek Hill. They are in. It's being reported differently now about AJ Brown and Deebo Samuel, but like it seems like they're on a wide receiver, and I don't know why, but it is the Jets. So
what Berrios gets 7? Like Berrios got more money than McKenzie. I mean, it was a decent.
Berrios got good money. Oh yeah, McKenzie's not even.
And then those last few weeks, like the way like Berrios was getting like trick plays designed for him, reverses and stuff. Like he can move, man. He's not he's just not this like white slot receiver that has no like explosion. Like what wasn't he like an all-pro kick returner too? Like the dude's good.
Yeah, they used him on carries inside the 5-yard line. All good.
GK. The other thing about that report with the Jets is the Tyreek Hill stuff. Like, I think they were kind of in it on it, but everyone knew that he was going to the Dolphins because he said he wants to go play for the Dolphins. So I feel like whoever's in second place doesn't really matter. So if you're like the Jets GM, might as well like kind of float that, hey, we tried. Like, I'm not sure how serious they were actually about trading the 10th overall pick for Tyreek Hill. That seems pretty damn aggressive.
Let's do one more, and then we'll get out of here. I am curious, though, your thoughts, Hayden, on tight ends, Kyle Pitts in general, in this format being drafted in the 4th round. Is this a situation where you want to avoid, or like, is this the one tight end you would reach for?
So I have an ADP. He's 9th, and I have him ranked 12th. I have him like right next to Elijah Moore. Like, who's going to have more yards this year? Elijah Moore or Kyle Pitts? Like, seems somewhat about the same to me. Yeah,
I'd probably even lean Pitts.
Yeah, so I ranked Pitts one spot ahead of Elijah Moore here, but like same thing with Pat Freiermuth. I'm a little bit lower than ADP, but we got him a little bit after ADP in the last draft, so they're not completely off the board, but their value is obviously less.
Dude, no one's completely off the board. That's the dumbest shit I always see in the mentions. I'm never drafting Christian McCaffrey again. Like if he wasn't there, like pick 6, you wouldn't be jumping all over it. Like give me a break. We hate the ADPs. We don't hate the players. I'm gonna say it a million more times. I've already said it 5.
That's a Matt Kelly take. That's what Matt Kelly usually says too.
I don't think it's that unique.
I was also on with Crane and Overzet, like I already mentioned, on Ship Chasing last night, and they mentioned very similar to what Hayden said. So that makes a ton of sense. Seems to be the way everyone's looking at it now. Oh no, I don't want notifications for this. All right, one more, ladies and gentlemen.
I got to keep the Ship Chasing. Is Crane just carrying the show? His tier articles are I don't know if they're tier articles, but I saw his breakdowns on the wide receivers, and those are fantastic. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if Overset's on Top Shot or what he's doing, you know?
I'm not sure between Hayden and Josh doing profiles via video, JJ Zachariason putting out his own guide, which is only $15, I think. And my God, is it worth it? And then Crane's free profiles that are strictly statistically for fantasy, not even like what GMs are going to do, but like this is what this player did behind the scenes, behind the curtains in college. This is what you should know. I think we are in the golden era of like understanding what and why prospects did things.
And then draft capital is probably still going to beat them all, but that's the story.
Yeah, they will.
And then none of it matters. That's also true to fantasy. Yeah.
Yep. And then Alec Pierce is going round 1. We're gonna have to adjust the ranks.
Christian Watson, like I've talked to no one who actually thinks he's very good, and yet he's going to land with the Chiefs and just screw everybody.
I mean, look at last year. What? No one really saw Tutu Atwell, even Eskridge, Anthony.
Hey, shout out Dynasty's Twitter for getting all those right, though.
Oh yeah, all right.
That's why Tyquan Thornton's going to blow things up in the second round, because any receiver who has run faster than a 4.5 in the history of the NFL draft, 86% of them have been drafted. That's all you need, right? For ADP bump is to be drafted. And Tyquan Thornton ran the fastest 40 ever for a wide receiver. So like he's getting drafted in round 2 or 3 for sure. And someone thinks they can use him. They can't use him because I actually don't think he's a good receiver. Hayden, you might disagree, but overall he is absolutely getting an ADP bump.
I need to watch him, but he's at least passing the models. He's like somewhat productive.
He's more
he's like Jalen
experienced
Reagor
than Anthony Schwartz. Well, don't say Jalen Reagor.
He's got like the same profile as Jalen Reagor. I'm sorry to
That's not good.
The market share bros. Jalen Reagor was not a good prospect.
He's more experienced than Anthony Schwartz, who was just an Olympic runner. And then Cleveland thought, okay, we could do something with this. Nope.
Who is this year's Reagor in terms of like we're discounting their bad stats because of their quarterback play?
Ooh, that's a great question.
Thank you.
Man.
But the thing goes, Reagor, even with the bad stats, and this is something I missed completely on it. One more spot here in this best ball draft, by the way, Rookie-Sophomore's last one we're doing this afternoon, is that Reagor was still also in his final year with TCU just a deep threat, and he wasn't a good one at that. So that's what I happen to miss.
I was going to say it's not like he doesn't play like Reagor at all, but Treylon Burks kind of has this like thing where he's like not really athletic, but people thought he was athletic and like really holding on, and that he's kind of falling down the draft boards right before the draft, but then like nobody wants to adjust off of it. I think Treylon Burks has a higher floor than Reagor because you can at least scheme him touches. But Reagor was like the number one guy. And then like the NFL draft came, like, okay, he's fallen a little bit. NFL Combine wasn't great, and nobody wanted to adjust. I'm a little bit concerned that we're getting that with Treylon Burks just a tiny bit.
It helps with Burks because, like, I know the issues that he was kind of used more gadgety, slot, lower ADOT and all that. But the sample size we do have of him on the outside is incredible. His yards per route run are bonkers. And, like, we're watching him mossing Alabama dudes out there, like, in those reps. So that's at least a positive, man. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting where he goes. Like, if he actually – I don't know, like, how to – what if he's a number 3 in Dallas? Like, is that better than maybe being like the 1 in Atlanta or something? Like, I'm not sure. He's a very interesting guy for sure. Hayden, like, where is he in your top 5? I'm still Team Garrett, wide receiver 1. I'm not like I kind of lean towards Burks at number 2 because it just seems like his best case scenario might be higher than the other guys.
Yeah, my rankings, I go London, Garrett Wilson, Jameson Williams in one tier, and then the next tier, Treylon Burks, and then another tier is Chris Olave. Treylon Burks is like way lower floor than these other guys to me. Like Jameson Williams, I know what he's going to do. Same thing with Garrett Wilson. I guess some people have some concerns with Drake London, but his measurables, I think, were really good. So
Crane, see, this is where Crane and I disagree because he told me as his number 1 receiver that he thought Burks was going to get drafted and play on the boundary. And I was like, man, I don't know if NFL GMs can like see past last year just to receive 25% of your targets from screens. Like that's huge. And he played 77% in his career from the slot. Like I don't, even at his size, 6'2", over 200, like I don't think he is a boundary receiver according to, the decision makers.
I mean, the Metcalf comps are terrible, right?
Yes, garbage. He does not move like that at all.
Burks also only played 9 snaps against press coverage all last year total because they used him
like
strictly
400 yards on him though. It was
ridiculous. in my notes, I have he had 37 routes as the isolated receiver, which is like classic X receiver spot. He had 20 receptions on those 37 routes. He had like a ton of yards per route run. It's like absolutely ludicrous, and all those were against Alabama. But those are really, if you go back, like I hate to be this guy. Like that one play that everyone kind of rips for Treylon Burks and he runs by all the Alabama guys, which is really sick to see. That is a garbage route that he actually ran. He just like got his back shoulder and then ran with it. I don't know. He's very boom bust to me. If he turns out to be really good, I wouldn't be surprised. If he turns out to be the bust of the first round, not going to be surprised either.
Daigle, I would say pull up the highlight, but I got a PFF Fantasy Pod demonetized because I was showing James Cook highlights on the stream. I've had NFL highlights and no problems. Got suspended from Twitter for 1 week back in the day. Since then, not a single issue showing NFL stuff, but God forbid we try to hype up some college football, I guess. James Cook, though, that's a guy that's fun to watch catch the football. You tell me he can't go catch 50 balls somewhere right away. I know he's not Dalvin. That's fine. He's still explosive as shit.
Tony Pollard.
Tony Pollard. Love that.
He got a top 30 visit in just the other day, too. He, like, as an end-around first guy. So much so, Hayden, like, James Cook might get drafted over Isaiah Spiller. That's a round 2 prop I'm going to look at, especially as Spiller continues to trend downwards, whether we agree with that or not.
I haven't been able to wrestle this out of Josh Norris's big brain over there, but Isaiah Spiller's stock was falling. And like on the latest podcast after Josh and I both kind of ripped Isaiah Spiller in our profile, he was like, he still might be the RB2 in this class. He has like early draft capital. That's what his source is. I can't figure out who the damn source is, but Josh still thinks Isaiah Spiller is going to go high. It's going to be like 38th overall to the Texans.
Daigle, I don't think anything's all right. We're on the clock. I got
we have our
Josh story in a second.
We have Javonte. We haven't had yet.
Javonte.
Ian,
because we had locked into one of the quarterbacks, the top 3 quarterbacks after. We're set.
Yeah, Javonte.
Cool. Javonte, continue your story.
We can do the pits. Yeah, Daigle and I are doing like a Roto World pod with Josh before the playoffs, and Josh is just like, keep an eye out for Tyler Ervin with the Packers, by the way. He's had like 6 touches the entire season. Sure enough, he gets schemed like 2 touches in this random-ass playoff game. And Daigle was like, come on, man. Like, throw us a bone.
Random,
like, how did you know that? Like, what? And then, no, nothing. Just, hey, kings stay kings, I guess, but fuck.
Daigle, give me it. Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields this year.
Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, let's go. Same.
It's not even close, just because the roster.
Well, Daigle, you're losing our bet right now.
What did I pick?
You picked Lawrence. I got Fields for like career. I think we got a steak dinner on the line.
Hold on. How am I losing our bet?
For a career,
now you are.
Steak dinner in like 15 years.
If football ended right now, then Fields would win. He had a better rookie year than Trevor Lawrence.
No, he got benched. What are you talking about? I disagree with this.
Are you kidding me?
Who's moderating this?
I disagree.
Trevor Lawrence had like, 1 touchdown for like 10 weeks or some shit?
Trevor Lawrence's first half was better than the rest of Justin Fields' year.
This is
Mac Daddy. Let's get some Mac Daddy.
Second half was bad. We're looking really quick. Kyle Pitts or Mac Daddy?
Do we think this other guy's going to grab Mac Jones? Is he a sharp or is he a casual?
He's a sharp. He has the black and white.
Should lose drafting privileges for these Trevor Lawrence and Zach White takes.
Mike White was the GOAT.
Mike White.
That's why he's Mike Hype.
I said Zach White.
That's Mike Hype to you. Calm down.
Hey,
Josh and I
by the
kept
way-
calling him the white guy on the podcast. There's no
No,
Mike White. he's
you
just the
kept
white
calling
guy.
him that, and Josh distanced himself accordingly.
Josh always distance. If I say something, anything controversial at all, Josh is moving on to the next topic.
He
immediately.
knows his career. He played his part. We have Elijah Moore still here. Seems like we always get him. That's okay. And then these running backs:
Elijah.
Devonta Smith or Elijah.
I'd say Devonta to mix it up, and if we don't want Elijah Moore to go too often, we have Zach Wilson, right? Switch it up a little bit.
Yeah, sure.
Just this one time. Why not have diversification on April 7th? Why not?
Do you guys
You could
think Jalen Hurts is still the starting quarterback for the Eagles week 1,
Yes.
2023?
I
No.
think, 2023? No, absolutely not.
Correct. That's why him going as a top 10 QB in Dynasty is asinine to me.
Yes.
Do you think he will be in
Correct.
week 15 this year? Do you think he'll make it that long with Gardner still in the mix?
I bet yes, but I bet like if I was setting the line, I don't think it'd be higher than like minus 200, 220.
Yeah, like
or
70,
something.
30, something like that
Right.
to me.
Right.
I'm just looking around really quick. So we have these receivers or Ramondre for the MAC.
I think Amon-Ra is still just heads and shoulders.
I'm fine either way. We might be able to get both. I mean, I really like Drake London. Yeah, we don't need Ramondre. We're set there. We got Javonte.
Yeah, I think Stevenson's still where he's going. Like, I don't.
Yeah, I would rather go Drake London personally. And
London, we got Traylon
Kadarius.
Burks. We got Kadarius Toney.
Yeah,
We got
let's
our
go.
pick here.
I said these guys. Anybody in
Two.
Jacksonville? That's a sophomore. No,
I wonder if
Just
Kadarius
man.
is just a stud. That dude moves different.
I hope he is, man.
Oh
That'd
my
be great.
god! Like I've had to just start because I know he was like getting kind of mocked. Like I feel like people were mocking the Giants for taking him when he did, and then it's like we see him against the Saints and Cowboys, and it's like, my god,
Wrecked.
why didn't he go like 10 picks earlier? My goodness.
Are we going Traylon or Ramondre or Olave?
I'll go.
Traylon.
Yeah, doesn't matter to me. That works
Yes, good. There you go, Daigle. That was fast.
fast.
Proud of you.
Daigle needs to hit the gym just to do the finger exercises. Get us going.
You got to hit the gym for that, but yeah. So we have these rookie wide receivers as well.
Who'd we draft? I think I missed a shot. We got Lawrence, right?
We do need to take a shot for Lawrence after this pick.
shit.
I'll go with
All
you
right.
after this pick.
I like being on the turn in these. Oh,
All right. So Jameson, Firemouth, Ramondre still like
Dude, we should have
Twin-
done Jameson. Next time we'll do Jameson shots. If we take Jameson Williams, I'll get a bottle.
oh,
It's dangerous.
we can do that next week. How are we feeling about Ramondre? We still have just one running back or another receiver?
I'd rather
So
go Jameson.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean,
Jameson has been
how much
mocked to the
better of a
Patriots.
bet? How much of a better of a bet is Ramondre Stevenson than Brian Robinson? Like
Dude,
Brian
the-
Robinson's probably gonna get the same draft capital.
The
This year.
reason why Daigle's high on Stevenson is because he's been living with Silva and Silva
I'm
saw
not high on Stevenson at
random
all,
preseason
actually.
runs.
I'm the person who always tells everyone the Patriots running backs have roles and stop pretending like any of them are going to have a 3-down role. That doesn't
Tell it
happen
to your
ever.
roommate then. Tell it to your ex-roommate.
It's my ex roommate. And also, he went to New Orleans for like the Final Four and came back like more enlightened. He also bet against Tiger to make the cut, the worst bet in history. So no, he's canceled. Fryermuth, George Pickens. We still need a second running back, but we don't have to grab any of these guys.
I mean, who's
How
our
we
next
feeling?
tight end option? Oh, I guess we don't have a tight end slot. Fuck fire.
Yeah,
No,
no
that's
tight
not
end.
inside.
Pickens. I think
Let's go
Pickens. Pickens is fun, man.
I'm cool with Pickens. Oh yeah, I gotta take my Lawrence
Yeah.
shot.
To Trevor Lawrence. Hope you're worse than Justin Fields, but still good.
Lawrence was historically bad the second half of the season. After the bye is when it started tanking.
It was
and it was
bad,
like, I think it was 5 yards per attempt. It was really bad. They
His
couldn't
receivers
score
certainly
points.
Didn't help him, but I mean, come on. The fact he couldn't put up numbers in garbage time was just the worst part. I didn't
He
expect
couldn't
him to be
score
pretty.
points.
He was more inaccurate than I was expecting. Like he
Yeah.
missed a lot of passes.
That's
It
the
wasn't about
issue
the
because-
processing stuff.
You can make excuses for the personnel and usage because even remember he was supposed to in garbage time. I think it was against Seattle. They had that 4th and short, and then Urban Meyer didn't run a QB sneak because he said they didn't practice QB sneaks. I could put together a QB sneak right now with personnel. So he does have some excuses.
Next week on the
but
podcast, we'll do QB sneaks.
the inaccuracy was a big deal. All right, here we go. We have we got these guys. We have these guys.
When I was in high school, I played some fullback, and I just take whoever. Who gives a shit?
Hayden,
And
shout your guy.
who you want, Hayden?
Isaiah Spiller.
And
only
we
have
never
one running back.
there we go. We never practiced QB sneaks, but one time our coach was just like, "All right, do it, Ian. You push him in like matter what." And so I did. But they threw the random ass. They flagged me for the push. I was like, I've never seen this flag called. My coach was like, push him into the end zone no matter what it takes. And I listened to my coach and the ref.
Why is that a rule? This is football. Why can't we push people forward? That makes no sense.
You see it with the O-line. Like the O-lineman has these like rugby scrums where they're holding up the dude for like 5 yards half the time. Wow,
why is this a problem? Who is this hurting? Whenever that happens, every football fan goes crazy. And then like we have to have the freaking ref haters. The push should be legal, like whether you're a USC fan or not.
You can let a quarterback push Reggie Bush in the end zone. You're gonna complain? Stop him. Put him on the ground like you're supposed to.
Yeah.
I think with this build, honestly, with having 2 receivers, Devontae Amonra, and then 3 rookies who I expect to have opportunity, we maybe go heavy running back here.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Herbert, Brian Robinson, or your boy James Cook? Which one are we thinking right now? We're gonna probably grab multiple.
Khalil's just cheaper Madison. I love them both.
I like Herbert.
I mean, Herbert and a rookie-sophomore. That's great. Let's go there.
A+ handcuff with a chance to have flex value with the new coaching staff.
Cool.
Tariq Cohen being gone is great for all those guys. I know we haven't had to worry about him because of injury the last 2 years, but that's like taking J.D. McKissick or someone out of Washington. Like that dude is legitimately going to take 80, 90 targets if he goes somewhere. I don't know if he's going to get the same opportunity elsewhere. Rookie year, Tariq Cohen was a lot of fun. It's just one of those things like, David Montgomery for that reason is pretty interesting too, man. I feel like he's being priced right next to a bunch of guys that are definitely in committees, and there's a chance he's not.
That's a good take. Tariq Cohen was just injured. I mean, and he got re-injured. After 2 surgeries, he just had setbacks. So that's what
2018, 2019, like he was catching a shitload of passes. I'm old enough to remember.
So we still have these running backs. Our favorites.
I like Zamir. Zamir's kind of nasty.
Tell me on Zamir. We're going to take him, but tell me about him.
Just, 5-star, top 10 overall high school recruit. Tore his ACL twice. He has 4.4 speed, and he's like 220 pounds. So if he hits, he hits.
Works for me.
Does a 5 RB build and 5 wide receiver build?
I probably go receiver.
Unique. Okay.
Yeah, let's find one that's like scroll down. Let's find a random person that's like not being drafted that we have things have like Dwayne Eskridge. Like
can't do Dwayne Eskridge. I can't do Dwayne.
He's gonna start, man.
Let's do Diami. Diami is could be who we wanted Josh Palmer to be.
Great take. Yeah. Diami was a good prospect, man, and he was an early declare 21-year-old. Like, of course he wasn't going to be good with freaking Taylor Heineke as a rookie.
He should be in 3 wide receiver sets.
Yes.
And that's assuming Curtis Samuel is going to be healthy and shit, which I think, but who knows?
That's why I can't do Eskridge because he wasn't a good prospect. He's already 37 years old and was not athletic.
And he's like, he wears he's not swaggy enough to wear number 1 too. That's the disappointing part. I did not see enough there.
And being so old, he had to be healthy for all of camp. And he basically showed up to camp for 2 days and then was healthy at the end of the year and obviously couldn't do anything. So no, I'm not doing Eskridge.
32-year-old rookie.
With that, we did pretty much all 3 strategies you should do in rookie-sophomore, right? Like we went early quarterback, and then we went heavy wide receiver with anti-fragile running back, or as Ian calls it, modified zero running back, super modified zero running back. And then we went superhero running back for a 4-team league. I think we just showed them every possible way to win rookie-sophomore.
I just can't get over TJ nailing the superhero running back.
Good,
TJ has been absolutely crushing DFS since I've even been in the industry. And, if we had like I don't want to call him underrated because I've always thought he's the fucking man. But if you guys don't know TJ Hernandez, like you are truly missing out. Superhero, awesome name aside.
It is the best analogy since Rich Rebar called Rondell Moore Ant-Man. Like that's the best comp I recall.
Hold on, didn't Rich also have the horizontal raid?
Horizontal raid's good.
Literally all of Rich's analogies are great.
Dude,
he nails them every time.
Yeah. Mount Rushmore, baby. That guy's insane.
With that, Hayden, any parting words? And tell the people what you have coming out this week.
I just want to wish Ian good luck with the wedding planning process. I know you'll be a king with all of that.
It's like
stuff.
another year.
And enjoy looking at all the venues. Tell me what floral designs and what color your napkins are going to be next podcast, please.
Ian,
try to, yeah.
Tell everyone about your horrible wedding planning and what else you have coming out this week.
I'm not, dude. I'm gonna try to do that. Like, I forget what
You
movie
have
it
to
was.
just remember you have to help her out. Make sure you help her out.
What was the movie where the strategy was like, all right, pick the worst thing, so they think that they're like helping their wedding by not asking my opinion, but I gotta pick like the second worst thing. I can't like pick the
breakfast
animal.
burritos for the food.
Yeah. I'll pick my battles. My only rule is an open bar, so that's all I'm gonna put my foot down on. And man,
open bar or kegs. Yeah,
it's 2022. Do we have like marijuana friendly weddings yet? That'd be freaking awesome, man. It's my day. Why the hell not? Anyway, PFF Fantasy Football Podcast got 4 episodes out this week. I'm interviewing Jetpack Galileo tomorrow, who is staying anonymous. Shout out to the folks that do that. But I didn't even know he was anonymous, honestly. I just love this dude's Twitter. He crushes the wide receiver scouting and stuff. I truly think he's one of the more entertaining guys in our lovely sphere of Twitter that we talk with. So check that out. Plenty of stuff with Dwayne McFarland in the meantime. And I just published on PFF.com today 25 players whose stock is up in free agency by staying with their team. You know, everyone in the news is always like guys changing teams, usually not that good in the long run of things. So check that out. It is free. And yeah, good talking to you boys as always. 3 straight. Haven't had any of us miss yet. Let's keep it up, boys.
The most accurate podcast on iTunes, Spotify, because later tonight you will find one Pat Kerrane's wide receiver rookie rankings and then a bonus episode. And that Phil Yates was kind enough to sit down with me and go over the top 5 NFL draft rumors that I think are most important to mock correctly. So until then, we will be back next week. Underdog Best Ball Happy Hour. All 3 of us. Keep the trend going. 6 p.m. Eastern. See you then.